What's up, guys? I'm back again. This time, I'm doing a updated version of a previous video that I made. This is the Coleman Catalytic heater. It runs on Coleman fuel or white gas. It is 3,000 to 5,000 adjustable BTU heater. And so, just a quick overview of it. The last video that I made was in the dark, which is kind of dumb because you can't see anything, or it's very hard to see anything. This one obviously has more light, so let's do a quick... Actually, the one I think I made before was this guy. That's my foot there, sorry. I'm on my bed. But this is another one that I have. So, you have the carrying handle. You've got the top shell latch. If you push these two levers, if you squeeze them in towards each other, like pinch them towards each other, it unhooks from the base, and it opens up like a clamshell. So you got this right here. You got the hinge in the back. I've got a few like little scratches and scrapes and whatnot. This was a really rusty heater before I got it, and so I just took various grits of sandpaper to it and just try to restore it over the past few years. Still working on it, just haven't had the time or just really put it in the back burner, no pun intended. So anyways, yeah, so it opens up like a clamshell. On the sides here, this is like the steel, I guess, top shell that, helps radiate the heat. You also have the mesh on top where, theoretically, I guess you can put wet socks, dry off wet socks, wet clothing, damp clothing, or just heat up a moist cloth, or like a face towel, to warm someone up or whatever if they're feeling chilly. But that's not the intended purpose. The intended purpose of this device is to heat a room or small, like it says ventilated area, but that just means make sure you have enough oxygen, because this does run off of oxygen. It's as a catalytic burner, what it does is it slowly, once you put the fuel, you unscrew the top here, you put the fuel on the inside, and in between the top and the bottom, there's a wick that goes from the bottom to the top, and once you put the fuel, you unscrew this guy. Now this guy's a really heavy bugger. Solid steel. It says, use only Coleman fuel, do not use automotive fuel, it will ruin this heater. This is solid steel, American made. This stuff is hardcore. For the rust, what you can do is just, you could soak this in vinegar, and that will break down the rust and the oxidation. Or if you want, you could soak it in like motor oil, use motor oil. I've seen folks do that with old rusty bolts, and they've restored old rusty bolts that way. And so I guess the principle is the same. Anyways, so you put the fuel in there. Once you put enough fuel inside, the wick, there's going to be a wicking action, a capillary action, where the fuel gets sucked up to the top. And in the PDF instructions that you can get online for this particular heater, it says, jostle it side to side. Even, I believe it says turn it upside down, so that way the fuel makes its way up to the top. It won't spill, but if you're kind of nervous about that, what I learned, or what I discovered, is that if you drop maybe a little bit of fuel on top, this runs off of Coleman gas or white gas or whatever. Just to let you guys know. Put fuel on top and you light that, and what will eventually happen is it'll burn off that fuel, but as it's burning, it'll suck up all that, it'll pull the fuel from the bottom to the top, and it'll slowly smolder, and then once that sucking up action begins, it'll slowly spread to the rest of the top here. Initially I used denatured alcohol. I thought that it was gonna work the same, and I thought I'd save money, and not the case. If you use the right fuel for this will put out a ton of heat. It's ridiculous. This gets super hot. And if you shut the lights off, I don't have any fuel now. I went to Walmart today to buy groceries, and I forgot to buy some fuel. It's kind of dumb. But yeah, so anyways, if you shut the lights off when this is running, you can actually see the dome here, the heating element, glow. And so yeah, once you get it lit, it starts to slowly radiate through. You just shut the clamshell, so that way nothing makes contact with it. You shut the clamshell, and you can adjust it with the adjustment here. You go side to side. It says initially, it says start. That means if you leave it, in this position, that allows for maximum absorption of the fuel. So that way this thing would start properly. If you want it to last, or let's say for example you're trying to warm up a small cabin or a small space, and you want to make this economical, or just sip on the fuel, just, push it all the way to the right. That means it's on the low setting, or if it's super chilly, just put it on start all the way to the left, and it'll put out that 5,000 BTUs. It gets really hot, like ridiculously hot. I've actually used this outside while working on my car in the wintertime, and this thing is freaking amazing. I love it. It's built well, made in the United States. Like I said before, it was made in May of 1974, and with all things considering, a little bit of rust, there's no structural damage. This thing's a freaking tank. So yeah, this is the Coleman Catalytic heater, 3,000, 5,000 adjustable BTU heater. Now, some people have said that the heating element on the inside, the white portion, is made of asbestos. I don't know if that's true or not. It could be true, but it's such a minimal amount, and to be perfectly honest, I think that unless you're like licking or just smoking, like breathing in the dust particles, I think you'll be fine. So you don't have to really worry about that. At least I don't, because if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Whatever, no big deal. I'll be in heaven. I don't want to be glib about that, but just the way it is. I have another one here. This one's a little bit older. I think this is like a year older. It's got a snuff cap. It's got that lever on the side. Instead of it going left to right, it goes up and down. And it also has that, where my finger's pointing, that's the fuel port. And that thing it's got that little, it's a 3-part port. I'm sorry, 3-part cover. It's got the actual outer layer, an inner gasket, and like a nut, a screw that connects the two of them together. I think it's kind of redundant. The what's that called? The fuel cover on this works well. Anyways, yeah, one last thing. This is the snuff cap. So I don't know. I guess if you didn't have a snuff cap, you could just let it die down or whatever. Or it'll eventually. I don't know. I guess it's a really good question. I guess find a pan that looks like this and just put it over. What you want to do is you want to take away the oxygen. That's one of the components of anything to burn, is oxygen. Use oxygen, the heat, and a medium on which to burn, or like a fuel. So if you snuff out the oxygen, you snuff out the flame, and it goes away. In this case, I do have one, and it's in excellent condition. This is aluminum, and it's riveted, nothing fancy. You just cover it up like that, like you would. Kind of looks like a room service, and it goes out. And so right now my challenge is to find an alternative fuel to Coleman fuel. I'm having a hard time because like a gallon, it's $10 a gallon, which is ridiculously expensive. The fuel that I have there, I might just bite the bullet and buy a butane heater. That is roughly $1.30 per 225 grams. It'll last about a week if you use it conservatively, or if you use it really, really conservatively, it'll last about 2 weeks. So, something to consider. This puts out a lot of heat very quickly, but it's super expensive to run. Thing's a tank, it's very durable. Or I can use butane and pay $35 once and have a heater that will heat my room for 2 weeks for about $3 a month. So realistically, like maybe $6 a month. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, also, just a quick update. I did get a new job at this place called Ranger Surplus in the DC Metro DC area, and it's pretty much anything military related. It's got there's a huge emphasis on prepping, and they have quite a few quite a few knives that are pretty awesome. So yeah, it's something that I will do a video on in the future. I work there tomorrow from 4 to 8, so I think I'll make a quick video. But besides that, in terms of the heaters, let me know what you guys think. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Oh, one last thing. I found that guy in a pile of free stuff. Let me just zoom in here. That is a vintage Coleman pump lantern, one of those lanterns that it's a single mantle lantern. It's a 200A model Coleman lantern. It runs also on white fuel or Coleman gas. So yeah, I'm gonna do a video on that because that was awesome. It was a extremely awesome find. It even comes with a little container on the bottom, the accessory port. Those are these are going on eBay for like $70. So I'm going to keep mine just because it's like in really great condition, no cracks on the globe, and yeah, there's virtually no rust. So I'll do a video on that in the future. I'm very grateful for that. Sorry my room's a mess, all this crap. I gotta do something about my water supply. My preps have been doing better. I mean, I've got tons of food set back. Actually, yeah, anyways. It's not really tons of food. I have more food upstairs, but I'm working on it slowly but surely. Alright guys, sorry I'm rambling. Enjoy the video. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, let me know. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.